I took a really nice walk on Mount Lee. That's the little hill that the Hollywood sign sits on in Los Angeles. And this is a great vantage point to view the LA Basin to the southeast, as well as the San Fernando Valley to the northwest. The San Fernando Valley is also known as the Valley. I think that's where the Valley Girl trope comes from, or stereotype, whatever, cliche. But anyways, it's a really great spot with great views. You see a little bit of the LA haze there in the distance. That's pretty common. That's that layer of gray on the horizon that causes really pretty sunsets, though. So that's one benefit. So here's a map that shows LA city limits as well as the locations of the LA Basin and the San Fernando Valley. The San Fernando Valley is actually the bulk of the city of Los Angeles' area. And it wasn't always that way, but it is now. The annexation of the San Fernando Valley by the city of LA in 1915 is considered to be like the Louisiana Purchase of LA history. It more than doubled the size of Los Angeles. And at that time, in the early 1900s, the San Fernando Valley was little more than an agricultural region with sparse, exurban development. But it was almost an imperialist guarantee the city of LA calculated that this farmland would soon devolve into a massive suburban development. And they were right. It really did. Most of LA's area is in the San Fernando Valley today, and nearly 2 million people live in the San Fernando Valley, so it's a very heavily populated area. You have the city of LA in the San Fernando Valley. You have Burbank. You have Glendale, which I think is considered part of the San Fernando Valley. You have the city of San Fernando. And it's a huge conglomeration of development. It gets really hot there. It's bounded to the south by the Santa Monica Mountains and to the north by the Transverse Ranges. The San Gabriel Range is just to the northeast. And it's also a big spread of wealth in terms of you got more lower to middle income development to the north of US 101. To the south of the 101, that's where you have the really wealthy neighborhoods. So like Calabasas and Tarzana, Encinos, Sherman Oaks. I don't know if I said those names right, but I do know Calabasas because that's where the Kardashians live. At least that's where they used to live. And so it's a very, very, very wealthy area out there in the Hollywood Hills and the Santa Monica Range. Lots of extremely, extremely opulent, indulgent development. And it's huge mansions with huge plots of land, and I'm assuming it's very beautiful. In any case, you just get a fantastic view from Mount Lee, and not only do you get a view of the Hollywood sign below you and the San Fernando Valley and the LA Basin and downtown LA, but you get a nice view of the Pacific Ocean, and I think you can actually see some of the Channel Islands from Mount Lee, including Santa Catalina Island, perhaps. The Channel Islands, at least most of them, are protected under the national park under the same name, the Channel Islands National Park. So I'll leave you just with some more images and scenes of the Los Angeles area. You get a great view of how dense the development is and how far it goes and how many little built-up areas there are. And yeah, in general, this is a beautiful area with an interesting history. Actually, I should say that the San Fernando Valley was first settled by Europeans, I think, in the late 1700s when the Spanish established their colonial missions. And so farming by Europeans has been an enterprise since the late 1700s, up until the early 1900s at least. But, you know, that urban development, suburban development slowly and surely encroached on that agricultural development. And then prior to the Spanish settlement of the San Fernando Valley, the natives were pretty prolific, although they tended to keep their settlements closer to the hills rather than the center of the valley. In fact, a lot of these broad basins in Los Angeles, including the San Fernando Valley and the LA Basin, were historically big outwash basins where braided rivers would routinely flood. And they're really just broad river basins, river valleys, that are flooded to the extreme during the wintertime wet season. And only in modern times have the traditional flood channels and rivers and streams been artificially contained into canals and things like that. So in summary, a beautiful area, and I'm sure I'll be back someday. That's the San Fernando Valley and the Los Angeles Basin as viewed from the Hollywood Hills. Thanks for watching.